Hi, I'm Ryan Miner. I'm the editor-in-chief at aminordetail.com, where I cover Maryland news and politics. And I'm also the host of a Minor Detail podcast, which you can find on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Definitely check that out. I'm covering two big stories today. The first is Governor Hogan issued a statement today that Maryland's November elections will go on as planned, with in-person voting resuming as the status quo. He wrote in a letter to the State Board of Elections that he remained concerned about the series of failures during the June 2nd primary election. Though not intended, they may have potentially resulted in disenfranchisement and the suppression of Maryland voters. The general election, which will be held on November the 3rd, will take place as normal, Hogan wrote in his letter, but with a couple of caveats and enhanced voting options. Every precinct will be open to voters on Election Day. Early voting centers will be open, and Hogan said that he's going to supply election workers with personal protective gear and sanitation supplies. Anyone who feels unsafe casting an in-person ballot can, of course, request an absentee ballot. The governor also ordered the State Board of Elections to open every in-person and early voting center. Now, number 4, this is the fourth point I want to make. This is important. The State Board of Elections, Hogan wrote, should promptly send out an absentee ballot request to every eligible voter. Let me repeat that. And here's the core takeaway. Not actual ballots, but rather ballot requests. Voters will be mailed applications. Again, not actual ballots for the general election. The governor also urged the State Board of Elections to push early voting absentee voting by mail, and voting during off-peak times. Here's the problem, though. Local officials may not be able to staff all precincts and early voting centers, and some Democrats are already hitting Hogan on this plan, saying that it could potentially lead to further voter disenfranchisement. So we're not sure how the Democrats will respond, although the Senate and House Democrats released a statement saying that they're glad that Hogan finally made a decision on voting in November, but they did express some concerns. But again, this is the core takeaway, that voters will be mailed applications, not actual ballots, for the fall general election. All early voting and regular voting precincts will be open, but of course there could be staffing concerns because, again, we're in the middle of this global pandemic and people may not be willing to show up. That is, election volunteers may not be willing to show up to staff it. Now, the second story that I'm following is a story that State Senator Mary Washington of Baltimore City says she's going to boycott paid Facebook posts and advertising. So listen to this. Washington, in a statement released today, said that Facebook has become a vital tool for connecting people, ideas, and services in the 21st century, but it's also become a vital tool for foreign actors to disseminate hate and propaganda. She says that Facebook over the years has been complicit in voter suppression and monetizing personal information through sales to outside groups and also invading privacy. So, as you know, Facebook has come under fire recently for allowing hate speech and harmful and even false content to be shared on its platform. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, he has been reticent to remove content or at least police his platform to the billions of users. And of course, lots of people share content on Facebook, but sometimes that content is false or it's related to false election news. And Twitter has actually banned political advertising, and they've recently put up disclaimers on the president's tweets when he tweets out information that is not altogether true. So here's the question. Will lawmakers join Mary Washington in boycotting Facebook advertising? Will other Maryland lawmakers follow suit and follow some of these major brands and say, we're not going to advertise on Facebook any longer? You can find me on Facebook at A Minor Detail, and I'm also on Twitter at Ryan R. Minor. I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn, and I'm also on YouTube, so there's lots of places to find me. We're going to keep doing these short snippets of news. I'm Ryan Minor. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great week.